All right, folks, and if you just missed that last fantastic run of Octopath Traveler, don't you worry. Our fantastic staff is working on getting VODs of all of these up. So if you'd love to see more runs being done co op or featuring connections, or even just players having a great time racing against each other, give us a follow. Check out our social media. This is the kind of content that we are happy to be providing. And if this is your first time with us, hi, we're Multithon. This is our inaugural event, and thanks to overwhelming support from the community, we've been able to make it bigger and better than we've ever dreamed of. Thank you all so much for watching and donating for allowing this event to take place. And hey, this is day 3 of a 4-day event. The runs are continuing, y'all. Exclamation mark donate in chat will get you the link to our Tiltify page where you can make that donation to our campaign. We are benefiting Blue Path service dogs. And here's something that they do if you want to know where your money's going to. Blue Path has a Pause to Learn program where dogs spend time providing therapeutic support in schools, camps, residential homes, and just general rehabilitation settings. Future service dogs and program participants learn together with the dogs obtaining important training experience and individuals receiving invaluable benefits. Pause to Learn impacts over 2,000 individuals annually. And let me tell you, the average service dog costs over $30,000 to train. Whatever you can give helps. And I just told you that this is our inaugural event. Our first event. And thanks to your help, thanks to your generous donations, we have raised $2,420 so far. And if you missed it earlier, we've got that next goal where if we can meet $3,000 raised from this marathon, we get the chance to name a service dog, y'all. I am looking at this picture of a dog that was named by a generous donor, not our event, but some other donor to Blue Path, and that dog's name is Parker. Beautiful, beautiful dog. We could have a chance to do the same. So, exclamation mark donate in chat will get you that handy link. And while you're there, go check out our incentives. Coming up later on today, we have the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise run. And if you've never seen Free Enterprise, they randomize everything except the final boss, Zeromus. But with your donations, we have a chance to change how that boss fight will look and sound. We can have either a fantasy sprite or a sci-fi sprite. Sci-fi's winning by $57.22 to fantasy with $24.78, but you know what? It's Final Fantasy! Fantasy's in the name of the game! So get your donations in and you can change that sprite over to a fantasy one. And speaking of fantasy, I've been telling you all about how I've been lucky enough to host this blog that I'm calling Fantasy Block. I've decided it's Fantasy Block. I'm sorry, producers. Producers are here muted with me, and they're probably shaking their head at me, but too bad. I'm calling it Fantasy Block. And our second game here in Fantasy Block is Lego The Hobbit, restricted any percent co-op, being run by, I do apologize if I'm not saying this right, Zojalyx and Dr. Pie. So, take us to the ring.
Hello, everybody. I am Zojalyx, and joined with me,
I'm Dr. Pie.
my absolutely loving wife, who actually asked to speedrun with me. I've been speedrunning since 2017, and she's been speedrunning since when?
Probably a year ago.
Yeah, something like that. And we're going to be speedrunning Lego The Hobbit restricted any percent. So, real quick before I put in this code, I just want to get one final check on whether or not we met the incentive.
Unfortunately, we have not but we do appreciate the incentive. We'll have to hope to see the cutscenes another time.
Perfect. That is
Okay.
perfectly okay. That's just going to give me a little bit of time here to set up, which is just putting in this code. That's right. We're speedrunners who use cheat codes. It is only one specific code in the game that is called no cuts. It is N0CUT5. It allows us to skip all of the unskippable cutscenes. So if we weren't to put in this code, then none of the things that we would do would work to be able to, then we wouldn't be able to skip the cutscenes. So we're just going to do a quick little verification thing that we have to show off as part of the rules. We have to double check that VSync is on. That will be explained a little bit more in detail as we get later on. And without further ado, timer will begin once we gain control of our character. I will give a countdown as best as I can to be able to help get it. But yeah, so Lego The Hobbit. This is a beautiful Lego game. I mean, I'd be shocked if somebody didn't know what a Lego game was by this point in time in their life. But this is a Lego The Hobbit based off of the first two Hobbit movies from Peter Jackson's Middle-earth saga. The first three movies being The Lord of the Rings that were produced, and then he created The Hobbit as prequels later on. We're going to be going through the story of the first two movies, and timer will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we're playing co-op, obviously. So that will require a lot of different coordination. We're going to be doing a lot of different things. Obviously starting off in very specific Lego fashion, which is breaking something so that way we can build it. Lego The Hobbit is a very interesting game because it introduces a lot of really cool mechanics, such as being able to use big hammer bros like that dwarf there to like shove pedestals into certain things to be able to make them go fast, to be able to make them like fit into the little slot. And there are other mechanics that we'll be talking about later on. We are jumping not just because it looks funny.
They do jump funny.
Yeah, they do have really ridiculous animations, but jumping, we actually discovered, is like a slightly faster animation. It's something that like it saves maybe a minuscule amount of time.
Oh.
Did you hit B?
No, I pressed X.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
What happened?
Well, that's never happened before. Yeah, so
Okay.
rocks are obnoxious, as we have now just seen. So the annoying part when you drop a rock is you have to wait for it to despawn. So you can't walk over and pick up the rock and call it good. You just have to wait for it to despawn and be right back in its spot where it's supposed to be. So we actually have our first trick coming up here. And I'll have Dr. Pie explain it because I do need to focus on it for a little bit.
All right, so when we go through this door, we're gonna do one called Gem Skip. So there's a whole room right here that we activate. But if I stand right here, I'm the little red guy.
Oh no!
Okay, well normally he'll drop out, jump over the trigger, and then we get to skip. That door doesn't close, and he can just run right through if he drops back in. But we hit the trigger, so we're gonna have to play the room kind of like it normally is. Really like it normally is, but we're just gonna do it speedy. So...
Yeah. So this is where something that in the Lego The Hobbit was introduced, which is resource collection. There are, like, resources that you can grab that you use to build certain things. And in this particular room, we have to get specific gems and some gold to be able to build the key to unlock the door. Because for some reason, they thought our, like, dwarven friends were mean and decided to lock us out of the room. Which, by the way, I am the king's grandson, and Dr. Pie is the king's son. So if that gives you any idea, you gotta put the gold in there. There you go. And so now... we're going to do this little puzzle here. Unfortunately, this is a pretty big time loss, so if this were like a PB attempt, we would just reset. But obviously, we don't want to do that.
especially because it's right at the beginning of the run, it's usually not a big... Okay, it would be good if I could hit buttons.
That is usually good. Hitting buttons is nice. Also, you do get to see this minigame.
Oh my...
We don't get to show this minigame off at all, which is kind of cool.
the worst time I've ever played that.
That was brutal. But that's okay. These hammers look cool. These hammers look really cool. So we can give credit to that. Woohoo! So yeah, we're just gonna pop open this door.
Pretty soon in the next room, we get to showcase part of something that will happen a lot with my character. When we are in like a full screen mode, like this, I can move during cutscenes, except for only when we're like in a theatrical can I not move. So it comes in handy a lot because I get to do some other skips and stuff that we can't normally do because I can walk through cutscenes, which is kind of amazing.
And you gotta dance like the hobbits. Or the dwarves. I need one plank. One plank. One plank. I said it like 3 times.
I literally didn't even. I'm like, what is going on?
You're like, what do you need? What do you need? I'm like, one plank. I need one plank. I need one plank. Yeah, so what we're going to be going up to in this section is we're going to be breaking... I'm breaking these big pieces of, like, copper or whatever. And it's going to allow us to build a sort of, like, blueprint thing where we can take the resources that we've collected. And we do this, which is what I like to call the Lego Movie Master Builder section. Because we're going to be doing this quick build where the pattern for where the things spawn in the circle is completely random. But it allows us to create a funky contraption, which is super cool. And this is the only time we're ever going to see it during the run. We're not going to be seeing it at all anymore because we skip all of the other times that we will do this. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to. If you guys thought that was a cool mechanic, well, it's gone now, so. And we're immediately going to be going into our next trick in the run, which is called Barrier Clip. So what's going to happen is Dr. Pie is going to be going in. There's this little cinematic view thing, and then Dr. Pie is going to jump over this barrier before the invisible wall spawns. That was so close.
Yeah, that made me nervous.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that you made that. Holy cow. And yeah, it just skips all of the puzzles in the room. It just prevents them from spawning because the trigger for what would cause them to spawn would be us pulling that initial barrier. Kind of a super nice trick. It is one of the harder tricks in the run.
Yeah, it is pretty hard.
And it was really funny because our very, very first run, I told Dr. Pie, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have to teach you this. I wasn't planning on teaching it to her or having her learn it right away. And then she just did it on a whim. It was absolutely ridiculous.
I was like, what do you mean? This is easy. And then I couldn't get it like for the next 50 times.
It was pretty crazy. Yeah.
So this next one that we're going into is called Money Hops. So we're going to see this buddying up that we just did a lot. This is one of our 2 buddy things that require a specific buddy hop. So we got to do the piggyback. And Zoj is just hopping on the money very specifically, doing really specific patterns in his controls to make us not fall in and get sucked into the money. Which you hopefully won't see, but sometimes it happens.
Yeah, it didn't happen, so we don't have to worry about it.
Well, we might have it later, though. But.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, so we're just getting an auto-scroller for like 30 seconds, and then it's just end-level tally, so nothing too interesting. So if there are any donations or anything that need to be read, now is a fantastic time to do it.
Sure thing. I actually do have a question for you. Are you fans of fantasy? It feels like a loaded question. You're playing The Hobbit, but...
Yes, I mean, if my prancing pony tankard doesn't give it away, or the fact that we literally left in the middle of a Dungeons & Dragons session to do this, yeah.
So would it be safe to assume that in our coming Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Bid Wars for the Final Boss theme song and the Final Boss sprite, you both might prefer the fantasy-themed ones?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, folks, if you go to our Tiltify page, that's !donate in the chat. When you make a donation, make sure you select the fantasy option in either the Harp Song Bid War or the Zeroma Sprite Bid War for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. And of course, you can also select the Fez Play as Sonic incentive. Your donation goes to 2 incentives. That's right, it's a twofer. And it all goes to benefit Blue Path Service Dogs.
Perfect.
So this is another jump we're going to do, another buddy launch that is really being annoying right now. But basically, we're going to do this a lot where we put something in between us as we try to buddy up. And it's going to send us up in the air. And then we've got a fun little buddy hover right here, where if you just mash the attack button while we're buddied up, you just hover.
Yep.
So we can hop around and you'll see that a lot. You'll see buddy launches and buddy hovers a lot here. And that one is actually probably one of my favorites because obviously, like, we're in the background. We're not really supposed to be here right now. But we're speedrunners, so we are.
Yep.
And it's just my favorite because we're not supposed to be here and we are.
Yeah, this is like way back in the middle of nowhere where, of course, the developers are like, yeah, actual physical textures make sense. So if you're wondering why this category is called restricted any percent, the biggest reason for that is because, so this game has a lot of FPS dependent tricks. FPS standing for frames per second for people who may be unfamiliar. And if you have higher FPS, some other tricks are a lot more viable for you to do. But in restricted any percent, they actually restrict your FPS down to 60. So you are not allowed to exceed 60 FPS when running this category. How many times am I going to say FPS in this explanation? No idea. But anyways, with that, even though like we're still restricted to 60 FPS, we can still obviously destroy the game and hover by spamming the X button while being buddied up, and then we can wedge things in between us while we buddy up to launch ourselves high in the air and do some pretty ridiculous skips. And because of just all of the crazy skips that have been found by the community in this game, there are just like, it's absolutely crazy because this game's super broken, and it actually is super accessible to learn this category because you don't need some high-end computer like you would need for any of the other categories in this game.
All right, so where we are now, we just walked into the middle of another level from the hub world. And yeah, we're just gonna try and hit this random trigger in the side of a mountain. Don't ask me why it's there. I don't know. But we've got this trigger.
There it is.
There it is. It triggers the next level.
And it doesn't only just trigger the next level, it triggers the last room of this level. So, yeah, it puts us right there. And then we can just jump over the fence, hit the ground, and it sets our respawn point to here, skipping the entire room. So, yeah, this level that would normally be, like, you know, a full level's length, it has now turned into about 30 seconds of a level. And that's including this time where it takes to skip through the end results of the level. Also, we have already completed all of anything that would be relevant for the first movie. So if you guys are like unfamiliar with the story of The Hobbit, this run is not a good way to learn because we've gone from obviously the dragon came. Okay, that's terrifying. Cool. Now what happened? Sam and Frodo clipped out of bounds and went to a creepy mountain where Radagast and Gandalf flung themselves over a ledge to leave the mountain. And now they're at a creepy castle. Yeah. So this is the Necromancer. This is the next level that we're going to be doing that we actually do from beginning to end. None of it as intended, except for like 2 parts.
This was one of them.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to build this thing, and then I'm going to be moving over to hit this door, so that way the moment that this little camera pan is done, it immediately triggers the next one. And then we're going to go into our next skip, which is that mist right there. We're actually going to be...
trying to skip.
Yeah, we're going to try and skip it.
And a skip called Birdless.
Yes, because there are birds, but unfortunately we are going... If you're a fan of birds, I'm sorry, we skip the birds. Because birds are slow.
These birds are sick, and I'm supposed to heal them, but we're going to try and skip the healing, because it saves time.
Yep, and by doing that, I'm going to jump out of bounds, and I'm going to wedge myself into this tree, and then Dr. Pi is going to pan the camera over using the right stick and count to 13. Once she does that, she's then going to walk over, destroy the tree. Once she destroys the tree, she's going to switch to Gandalf and then hold a specific direction to fling herself through the gate, over the trigger on the gate, and then run back so that way she can hit the trigger in the next room.
Just like that.
You only get one try at that skip, so to be able to do that to show that off in a marathon is awesome. Oop, don't, no, you just exited the level. I was like, no.
Oh my gosh.
You've never done that before.
The abandoned fortress of Dol Guldur was
Guys, I'm new.
And like
running.
the year.
I'm not a menuer.
That is fantastic. Well, at least you get to see Birdless again.
In case you liked it.
We're gonna do it again.
I swear I was on no.
Oh, that's amazing. That is fantastic. Casual marathon things.
Well.
Okay, so, yeah, we're gonna be doing Birdless again.
Take 2.
I'm trying to think of how... is there even anything to say about it now?
Well, if we were gonna do... Like, we have a backup that I call Birdful. So we were supposed to build these little, like, blue thingies to shoot magic at the door to make it go away. And we're supposed to revive these birds to help us build the blue thingies. And, yeah, so that's how we normally get rid of it. But... I gotta count now.
Yeah, so but instead, we can just yeet ourselves over the bird with physics. So, yeah. It's funny because out of, like, when we were starting to speedrun, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm terrible at games. There's no way we're gonna get any good at this. And I was like, dude, we're gonna be fine. But we've never done that before, where we've accidentally quit a level, so...
Alright, let's take 2.
So what we're trying to do in this is, with a perfectly timed jump and then drop out...
Oh, I missed it.
Dr. Pi is able to skip the puzzle that would put us up here. It's a little bit of a struggle right now, but that's okay.
Although it would have been faster if we had probably just done the puzzle, but we never actually play that, so we don't even know what the puzzle is.
I've never done the puzzle before in my life. I bought this game, played through like 4 levels of it, and was like, and then just kind of put it down, not for really any particular reason, and then I started speedrunning it.
Okay.
Probably not the smartest decision I've made, but it's fine. This is Azog. He's a boss. We're gonna beat him up, and that beating up pertains of Dr. Pi doing a lot of quick time events to be able to finish him off. I'm gonna grab an axe because it's kind of fun.
Ah! Press the wrong button.
Oh, corner. I almost didn't go to the corner. And we run to the corner over here so that way when Azog hits us with that attack, it actually doesn't affect us at all, and like we fly into the corner and we don't get flung like super far away. And then I fight these orcs because it's fun, and they can kind of be annoying if we don't actually just deal with them.
Yeah, they are super annoying.
And then yeah, we're gonna be going from this into a quick like 20-second auto scroller, so if there's like one quick donation, you should read it. If not, you guys should donate to Blue Path Service Dogs, because it's an amazing cause that we've already raised a lot of money for, but like obviously the marathon's not over, so you should keep donating, because that's something that is really awesome. And we all love doggos.
Animals are the best!
And yeah, so you guys should donate. It's pretty cool. While
we whip our staffs back and forth.
Yeah. This is a great opportunity to donate for some really awesome incentives, like that Final Fantasy Free Enterprise bid war, because obviously fantasy is the best theme that you can do. Because, you know, I don't know, Final Fantasy, that kind of just, like, you know, makes sense. So this is a boss fight. The boss fight is the Necromancer, and totally not Sauron. And what's going to be happening is he's going to be throwing these purple blocks at us, and then we get to this section of blue blocks. We put our shield up, mash X quite a bit, which is then going to put... allow us to build a magical laser focuser thingy-majiggy, because Legos. And then we shoot our magic laser into the focuser, and then it will shoot the Necromancer, breaking his shield. And look, oh my goodness, the Necromancer's Sauron. I never would have seen that coming.
Why can't I hit this guy?
I don't know, but you have a lot of studs.
I know.
So while we're kind of waiting for these phases, we actually are going to be draining our studs. And the reason for that is because if we have studs at the end of a level, it actually takes about 4 seconds for that to show up. But if we get rid of our studs, I think I picked up some of your studs that you dropped when I jumped down. But if we get rid of our studs, it just skips having to tally any studs because it just detects that there's no studs to tally, which then saves some time. So yeah, we've got about one more phase left. So if there is a donation to read, now is a great time to do it.
Well, I just have to say the two of you really embody the spirit of our marathon faster together. And as a community, we can really make a difference by banding together, in this case for Blue Path Service Dogs. So, as Zojalyx just wonderfully did for me earlier, !donate in chat will get you that link, and your donations go to help benefit Blue Path Service Dogs.
Awesome. Yeah, so yeah, guys, get your donations in. Like, it's one of those things where I always look at it this way. They always say that, like, one person can change the world. But imagine, like, glance over right now. There's 150 people currently watching the stream. Imagine what could happen if every single person watching the stream donated a singular dollar. Like, just $1.
Oh
And
gosh,
so, like,
I'm doing the math here, and that would bring us up to $2,700, and that's just that much closer to our current goal of $3,000, after which we get to name a dog.
Woo!
Look at that. Like, again, one person, yeah, can make a huge difference. But a lot of people can make a crazy difference. So, like, we should get closer to that goal because A, donating for this cause is awesome, and B, we can name a dog.
Who doesn't want to name a dog?
That just sounds amazing. Alright, so that is the end of that level. And we're going to be immediately going into another Buddy Up launch that is going to skip a decent chunk of the next hub section that we're going to be doing here. This one is called Ice Launch. Ice Launch can be really, really finicky, so we're hoping it goes well, and also make sure you actually hit B.
Sometimes I press X and destroy the ice. Oh, that was gorgeous.
That was, yes, first try, let's go!
Nice.
We don't even get it first try in our PB.
We can name the dog Ice Launch.
We're gonna name the
kidding.
dog Ice Launch.
kidding.
Absolutely.
The
No.
company had arrived at the main gates of the one.
Nah, sometimes it usually takes like 4 times-ish. If I press B and not X. I'm not originally a gamer. I am now, though. So, okay, this is On the Doorstep, or OTD for shortsies. I sit here and do nothing as Bilbo, and Zoj is gonna line up these 2 dwarves and do a buddy launch through this rock to try and get up there on the stairs. And it is super... This is one of the most inconsistent tricks of the game. So that's pretty good. We are very happy with that. Normally it takes like 10 tries, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, a second try in a run is really nice. It's one of those tricks. Oh, also, that little buddy smash thing, yeah, no, that's a suggestion. We're just gonna, you know, jump around it.
Oh, I did it!
Hey!
I never make that jump.
Nice!
He doesn't actually need me up here, so normally, while he's doing everything important, I just sit there and try to make the jump. This is like the 4th time I've made that jump, and we've been playing this game for a year.
So yeah, that stair launch that we did is very like feels based. It's not a lot of there's a precise lineup for it, but a lot of like getting it consistently is just figuring out how it feels. Also, here's a Star Wars reference, which is I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. Yeah, I'll let you talk so that way I can try to focus on how I spin.
This is spin launch. This is the other of the two launches that we have that require a specific buddy up. So we have to get the side-by-side buddy up so that he can get up there like he did so we can burn down this tree. And normally I try to jump in the middle of the tree because standing on a burning tree is fun. I don't know.
Oh yeah, by the way, that was already the second to last level in the run. We only have one more level left. So we've already like gone and completed through a good chunk of the events of 2 movies. So we're doing better. We're making better timing in 25 minutes and about 30 minutes than what Peter Jackson did in about 6 hours. So not to say I'm better than Peter Jackson, but I'm kind of better than Peter Jackson. Yeah, I did say we.
I mean, I'd love to throw in that the two of you were also raising money for charity, so that's another point in favor against Peter Jackson.
True, exactly. So this is inside information, the last level, and it is going to start off with a very spooky stealth section, as you can see in the background. Or maybe you can't, but there's a dragon back there. He's trying to, you know, incinerate us. And we're just gonna kind of sneak around him, hopefully. Shoutouts to Benedict Cumberbatch because he voiced the dragon. That's really about the only shoutout I can really give to Benedict Cumberbatch, though.
Oh.
No, actually, I'm a huge Benedict Cumberbatch fan, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, this stealth section has a lot of various coordination to it that we use to be able to make things go faster. And the biggest thing is Dr. Bai has grabbed this little chain hook thingy that will allow her to spin around, because like we said before, spinning is a good trick. And I don't know if anybody picked up on the fact that that's a Star Wars reference, but you know, it's fine. Anyway, yeah, oh my gosh, I'm stuck.
Are you stuck?
Yeah, okay, we're good now. We're fine. But anyways, a lot of the stealth section is going to be like Dr. Pi spins to go do something while I catch up, and then while she is prepping to do stuff, I catch up to be able to kind of help with some things. Now, obviously, there are a lot of things that she's just faster than me for, so it doesn't really matter.
Because I get to spin.
Yeah, spinning is fast.
Okay, so this next one, I think, is this...
Oh yeah, this is your little panorama skip. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a camera pan that happens, and the exact position that she's going to be in, you're going to see Balin pull out his axe, which is then, the camera's going to pan this way, and then as it pans back, Dr. Pi has control. So by mashing, she can break that debris before we even gain full control of our characters. Saving like another like split second.
I actually have control during that second when I pull out my axe, because that's me. Oh, that's not how that's supposed to go.
Nope.
Okay, so normally right here we kill the other person, and then if you do it right, we can jump over this little
why is this not working?
We can normally jump over this little fan thingy here and end on the other side, which doesn't hit our trigger, so that things work properly.
There we go.
Just like that. And so now we don't have to worry about the spotlight of Smog's eye because we haven't hit the trigger. So he can just go and not have to worry about anything.
Oh yeah, because we didn't mention that before, but yeah, that little like spotlight there is Smog's vision, and if he sees us, we kind of like stop, hold our hands over our head, and just wait to be incinerated.
It's obviously a time loss, of course, and we're speedrunners, so we try to not have those.
And now, for some reason, yes, we put in no cuts, but no cuts doesn't work for this cutscene. So there is 2 minutes of an unskippable cutscene as we go in here. So this, obviously, is a great opportunity for more donations, which you guys need to be donating towards Blue Path Service Dogs. So, take it away, host.
Well, I mean, I'd love to hopefully name the dog, probably not name the dog Smog. You know, Ice Launch sounds like a wonderful name compared to Smog. Very different elements there. But let me tell you a little about Blue Path, since you've so wonderfully, well, Smog has wonderfully given me 2 minutes. Blue Path provides autism service dogs, and they offer safety, companionship, and opportunities for independence. I know, like, over this past couple of years, pandemic and everything, we've all discovered a lot of things about ourselves and how much we need to be able to get out and do things on our own. Well, Blue Path helps families with autism do that. Their expertly trained autism service dogs are provided free of charge to the families and improve safety and give them the freedom to unlock life's potential. And not only that, they're committed to the success of their placements, so they stay connected to all families who receive a dog from them. They answer the questions that arise when learning to navigate life with a service dog, much like I'm sure you answered Pi's questions when learning to speed run.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
They stay together with the families and keep providing follow-up support. So please, every one of your donations really makes a difference here.
All right, so we're going to be jumping right back into doing more buddy up launches.
What a surprise!
We're going to be attempting...
Jump over a
I'm
huge
not gonna
invisible
take that
wall
one.
here.
Yeah, but we have to be very careful because we're jumping out of bounds, and if we don't jump properly, or we can get stuck out of bounds.
Which is very odd. There's a little pipe there that, in our practicing for this marathon, we have gotten stuck in a pipe. I've gotten stuck in a pipe there. And then we soft lock the game, and there's nothing to be done. We cannot do anything about it. Again, we've been playing this game for a year. That's never happened until, like, last week we started soft locking the game. So we've just been a little bit more nervous about that one. And then we're doing another buddy launch right here. Trying to jump up on top of this huge pillar here. Not like that. To try and get to our next section of the game.
It's the weirdest thing, but like sometimes with buddy up launches, sometimes our momentum just gets like cut off. And so like as you saw there were a few instances like that where even though we're getting the launch, the game is like catching the fact that we're getting the launch and is just deciding, you know what? Nah, you're done. You're doing something you're doing something wrong here and you need to stop. So yeah. But we managed to get the launch, so no complaints there.
Now we are headed into the second to last section of this game, where I'm going to attempt to not hit Zoj.
Yes, and we're going to be solving this code using our expert skills of deduction, which the code is red, blue, red. It's consistent every time.
How'd you know?
So, yeah. There's red, blue, red. A bunch of pile of stuff is going to drop down. I'm going to build it. And then I'm going to do something really weird. I'm going to drop out, and I'm going to drop right back in. Because I'm going to be switching to keyboard, because we're actually going to be finishing this area, and then we have one more launch, and that'll be time. So we should be done in around, like, 1 to 2 minutes here. But I'm switching to keyboard, because they're actually, for some really weird reason, switching to keyboard makes this final trick significantly more consistent. After we throw bombs at a dragon, because, you know, that makes sense. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here, I'm going to break this and kind of shove some stuff out of the way. Dr. Pi is going to hold right, and I'm going to hold left, and then I'm going to press my buddy up button and immediately release my left direction, my left key.
An attempt to jump gorgeously like this.
Getting that very fast, and then time will be coming up here in like 2 seconds here once this cutscene starts, and time. And that was Lego the Hobbit restricted any percent. Yeah. That launch actually went really, really well.
That never goes that well. It is...
No.
We have lost so many runs to that launch for various reasons, mostly it just being generally annoying.
Yeah, and that trick is known as Jack Launch because there's a runner named Jack Juggler who literally discovered that launch by accident. And when he discovered how inconsistent that launch was, he literally was apologizing in Discord for so long, going, "I'm so sorry I discovered this," because it saves too much time not to go for, but it is still super inconsistent. But anyways, yeah, that's Lego the Hobbit restricted any percent. Thank you to Multithon for allowing us to be able to show this run off and to give Dr. Pie an opportunity to do some marathons. I've done a lot of marathons, so I'm just really excited to be able to share the stage with my wife. It makes me really happy, and yeah, all that cheesy stuff. Shout outs to the rest of the Lego the Hobbit speedrunning community, DeHamster, Jack Juggler, Captain Paxo, Flaming Laser. I know there are others that my brain is not remembering, but those are the 4 that first pop into my head. So, yeah, thank you guys. You're an awesome community. They're super amazing. Help anybody and everybody learn the run, and it's awesome. Other shout outs to the rest of the Lord of the Rings speedrunning community. I love you guys. That's like my speedrunning home. Shout outs to Grace, who's in chat, our sister-in-law. I see her name in chat, so we're gonna shout you out, and I guess anybody else in my family who's watching, but you guys aren't in chat, so I don't know who to shout out by name. Yeah, shout outs to also the charity, the marathon organization that we are both staff members of, and that is Running for Reals. It's a organization that helps to that donates money to the Real Hope Project, which creates videos of kids in foster care to hopefully get them adopted into forever families. So join our Discord. There'll be announcements happening for that soon. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Do we have anything else we want to say?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank both of you for showing this off. I'm here trying to rapidly finish my popcorn. I was told this was a much longer film, so congrats. Did you want to know your final time?
I see it on the screen. I have it up on my laptop, so I can see it. But thank you.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations. And just in case, I know you did the shout outs to your communities, but if people wanted to find more of you two running, maybe together, maybe separately, where can they find you?
Oh, yeah, that's kind of important. Well, she doesn't speedrun on her own. I'm trying to convince her, but I don't know.
I'm not that interested.
I can tell you based off this run, you're a fantastic speedrunner.
Thank you.
But anyways, you can watch us doing co-op runs at my Twitch channel, which is my name down below, twitch.tv/Zojalyx, Zojalyx. You can also catch me. I am a freelance esports caster, and I've been casting for Minnesota State University Mankato. So if you want to watch me do some play-by-play shoutcasting, you can watch me do that as well. Yeah, we try to do co-op speedruns as much as we can, but she's in school, so it's kind of hard. But they're super fun. So, and I speedrun games of franchises I am obsessed with. So Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man, Star Wars. That's actually pretty much about it in terms of the series that I run. But it's super fun. So yeah, you guys can come hang out. I have a great chill environment in my stream, despite how hyperactive I am on marathons. My stream is super chill, so you can come hang out. I love to just have conversations with people. Like, the whole reason I stream is just to talk to people and get to know people, and then the speed running is just the thing that I do to keep my ADD brain busy.
Well, we have your ADD brain to thank for that fantastic running commentary. And once again, thank you so much for your time and all you do. Folks, if you want to see more runs like this, yes, please give a follow to Zojalyx, but also stick around. We've got more runs coming up.